Hello, everybody out there in the YouTube and Facebook Live land. We are WordPress St. Petersburg, WordPress Tampa Bay, and you are here for the Ask Us Anything Crowdsourcing WordPress Support Workshop. I am Jim True. I am the lead organizer for WordPress Tampa Bay, and below me you have my fellow organizers, Elaine Simmons. Say hi. Say hi, Elaine. She's thinking about it. Say hi, Travis. We have Travis
Hi,
Lopes.
Travis.
And we have Jennifer Novak.
Hi.
Say hi, Jen. Okay. All right. So let's get started with this little thing here. So we are, as I said, we are WordPress St. Petersburg. We meet monthly on. We used to meet monthly on the first and third Tuesdays, and we're meeting monthly on the first Tuesday. So now, from now on, we're going to be meeting on the third Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. We're going to be online only for the remainder of 2022, but we are discussing doing quarterly socials in person. We had one. When was that? Like last month?
Last
2
month.
months ago? Yeah, last month. Was that last month? Wow.
Yeah, on the 13th.
That's so amazing because it feels like it was a month,
I know.
months and months ago.
It
But
does.
anyway, we're going to start doing that. For right now, our meetup group is meetup.com WordPress St. Petersburg. Our website is wptampabay.org. We have a Slack chat, a Facebook group, and multiple meetups. We are a member of the WordPress Tampa Bay network. This is something that's going to be a change that's going to be occurring in the upcoming couple of months. We're going to be updating the meetup group to WordPress Tampa Bay. That means we're going to take Meetup St. Petersburg, since it has the most attendees and the most information, and we're going to be switching it to WordPress Tampa Bay. We're going to be collapsing Tampa, St. Pete, Brandon, Valrico, and Newport Richey into the WordPress Tampa Bay meetup group. We'll be updating the meetup group primary name to WordPress Tampa Bay, changing it to WP Tampa Bay as opposed to WordPress St. Petersburg. Doing all of this kind of stuff to try to make it so that we have one calendar for everything and it becomes a lot less confusing. And that will include all groups across Tampa Bay will be using the same calendar. Any other groups that would like to use their calendar, just let us know. Some of the other changes that will be coming as part of this is as members of the meetup group. You can do it now, actually, but I need to test it prior to next month so I can show you guys how it works. But you can create an event, and as soon as you get, I think, 5 RSVPs on that event, we can publish it as an actual calendar item. So the goal will be is that as members of the meetup group, you can, if you want to get together for coffee and do a co-working thing one week, 1 month or something, you can do that. If you want to get together for a beer social and just get together and have like 10 people, do it. If you want to, get together and workshop a bunch of projects together, you can do that. And the goal is to make the WordPress meetups more accessible to you. If you want to meet in person, if you want to meet online, if you want to stream, everything is possible. And that's kind of the goal. We had a lot of good discussions about this at the in-person meetup in October. And we've been discussing how to do this. And WordPress allowed us to go ahead and consolidate, as long as we already had one meetup group that was pretty much most of the people were coming to anyway. So that's what we're going to do. And you're seeing the new coloration style for it. It's going to be the purple, since we already had it on the website anyway. Okay, so upcoming meetups and events. In December, we will be meeting for another Ask Us Anything on December 20th. That will be another crowdsourcing WordPress support workshop. And in January, on the 17th, we'll be doing another Ask Us Anything. Our goal right now is, I haven't got it on the calendar yet because I want to make sure, but we're going to put a poll out and send notices out to everyone and ask folks where they would like to do the social in February. We can do it at $3 again, or we can take an open poll about where you guys would like to meet. So with just some general stipulations, I'll let people throw out ideas and then we'll go from there. Otherwise, we'll meet at $3 again in February. So okay, so we are looking for speakers. This is WordPress, web design, front end or back end, plugin reviews, theme reviews, anything pertinent to web design, but specifically WordPress, if possible. If you've never spoken public before, no problem. Right now, we're still doing online streaming, so you don't really have to worry about feeling like you're in public if you don't want to. And this is also great for your resume, your LinkedIn, or your Twitter. If you're interested, go to our website. There's a link at the top that says speakers, and click that for call for speakers. And you can fill out a form, and we will get back with you. Code of conduct tonight. There are no stupid questions except the one you didn't ask. We'll be limiting questions to 10 to 15 minutes. Any more than that, and you should be hiring a consultant anyway. And everyone gets to speak on these calls, but please no crosstalk. When you're doing online chat like we're doing right now, if all of us are talking at the same time, we're going to miss a lot of the actual communication. So that's all that really matters there. Dial-in etiquette, we're using StreamYard, and the invite link is posted on Facebook and on YouTube chat. The guest instructions are also included with that link. When you make your connection to StreamYard, you're going to get a wizard to walk you through testing your microphone and your speakers, and it'll make sure that you're configured properly before it'll let you into the call, and it'll drop you into a green room, which is kind of like a space that isn't actually live yet. And if you're watching the stream through Facebook or YouTube, mute the audio in those windows on your browser so that you don't end up coming in going because that really is annoying. And we'll end up muting you. Okay, so questions. Ask us anything. Let me get rid of the Meetup key for the moment. Stop that screen share. And the first question we've got is from Russell. Hang on, hide that one. This one. There we go. He advised that widgets are appearing on his posts, but not on his pages. He searched a lot online, but has not been able to get this resolved. Typically, if your widgets are showing up on pages, posts, but not pages, that means your theme is configuring where the sidebar widget is, or there's a sidebar area configured on the theme itself. Now, this can vary depending on if you're using Elementor, if you're using the full screen editor, all those kind of things. So to give an example of this, I'm going to go into our dashboard on my local machine.
And this is pretty common. You see this on most themes where the sidebar is only located in post and blog related areas like the blog homepage, the archive area, category pages, stuff like that, and not necessarily on full pages.
Right. And depending on the theme, you'll have options to set that settings up. Like if I go into, like I am using on this website, I'm using the WordPress theme. If I go into appearance or customize, I think, yeah. And it's got a layout here. It'll have sidebars. No, that's not it. Oh, blog. Nope. Oh, I know where it is. It's a weird one on this one. You have to actually you do it at the page level. You go into pages, and let's say we've got like a sample page here, and there's a layout section specifically for it. So you can actually turn on sidebars, disable elements, or because the default is right sidebar, left sidebar, no sidebar, both sidebars on left, both sidebars on right. And that's kind of how they do it in WordPress, depending on the theme. So if I switch over to, let's see, appearance themes. If I switch over to, do I really want to do this? I've never looked at 2021 or 2023. Let's see. If I go into pages, and with 2023, did I activate that theme?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I wasn't sure if I had. If I go in there's a default template, blank blog alternative. So if they are using theme templates, typically, if they're using a theme template, you can force it into by making it mirror the blog one. But more than likely, that's not going to work. Because if the default template, let's show this one real quick and see what it looks like. View page. There it is. Sorry. Yeah, so there's no widget on this one whatsoever. But if I go into the blog on this one, is there a blog post? There kind of is a sidebar. There's not a sidebar on this one either. So that's not terribly helpful. That was not a good example. My apologies. I was going to say, like, basically, if you have to go to the theme template level, you may end up having to copy the theme template and change the name of it. And that's going to get you into some theme editing. So for this one specifically, if you, Russell, if you have a question and if you can, let us know what theme you're using and we can give you a more specific answer. So,
but generally, you'll need to or duplicate the main page template and modify that to include a sidebar, whether that is the standard sidebar you have on your blog, or you could, through the proper APIs, register a new sidebar area just for the pages.
Yeah.
And then show the widgets there.
Yeah. But it's not going to be, either the theme is going to allow you to customize it within their theme settings, or you're going to have to go to the PHP level to do it. So that's your answer on that one. Okay. So Mark asks, is there a good solution for selling and licensing digital content online, specifically music and images? I'm going to say electronic digital downloads. Is that, or easy digital downloads?
Easy digital downloads, yeah. That's probably the best option.
Okay. Let me go ahead and open up a browser window and I will.
You could also use WooCommerce, but it's going to be way more complicated for something like this. Easy digital downloads is built for digital downloads.
So let me share this real quick. Present.
Well, what about the images part of that? I think of easy digital downloads more for, well, I guess it could be images.
Yeah, it's digital.
Yeah. If you're thinking like easy digital downloads more for like plugin and theme sales, the actual core of easy digital downloads is for stuff like this. The actual software licensing that you see that comes with like a plugin or theme sales is actually a separate extension on top of EDD. It's not even built in.
Ah, gotcha. Oh yeah, because they have add-ons, multi-currency, PayPal, different payment methods,
software licensing,
right? But yeah, pretty much their primary deliverable is electronic. Whatever you're delivering is going to be electronic. So yeah, it makes sense to me. If you are doing pictures, I can't think of one that does like a gallery sales. If that's what you're thinking of, is that what you mean? Like, as far as like a digital image selling, because I think even go ahead, sorry.
No, you could do that through this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know of many others you could.
I can't think of anything, honestly. Yeah. I mean, Smug Hug, and all of those little photo selling type things have plugins that work, but they're really kludgy.
I think if you want like a native solution, which easy digital downloads can be a little iffy.
Yeah.
Especially because just probably for something more direct like this, where you're just like selling music licenses or images, it'll be a little more straightforward. It's when you're doing like recurring payment subscriptions and software licensing and Slack notification, and like as you start to stack that pile, that's where EDD can get a little hairy at times.
Exactly.
And I say that as someone whose business is purely powered on EDD.
Yeah, that's true. And actually, I know quite a few people who do this completely through EDD, so this makes a lot of sense. Okay, so that'd be my recommendation too. So let me stop sharing that one. Yeah. And
don't forget, the costs you see on EDD's licensing page are only for the first year.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So, like most of their stuff, isn't that?
Yes. That is Awesome Motive now. Yes.
Yeah, everything Awesome Motive does, they show a discount, but that's only for the first year. So it makes it seem like it's cheaper.
That discount is only for the next few hours, Jim. You better buy now because that discount is only going to last 4 hours. And if you go back to that page 5 hours later, it's not like that countdown is going to say, "Hey, that discount's good for another 4 hours."
Yeah, you're being very funny. Yeah. I'm not going to engage.
I have strong opinions about that kind of marketing stuff.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's very misrepresentative. Okay, so let's see. I'm selling stuff online.
Creates a little distrust for brands when companies do that.
Yeah. But at the same time, if you want to sell stuff online and make good sales, the urgency of a fake countdown on a discount does work.
But people can realize pretty quickly that it's fake, and it makes you like, okay, maybe let me go look at some other stuff. Let me go look at some other.
They will realize quickly if it's fake, assuming they need to come back to your site multiple times to learn about the product. If you can funnel the traffic well enough that you can make that convince the person and convert that sale on their first visit, then they're not going to know.
Maybe I'm cynical because I always assume it's fake.
Yeah, I always have too.
The countdown.
Yeah.
Like, is it really? Because I'm gonna open this in another browser and see what happens.
Exactly. So,
Every
and mine
time.
is like I tend to do comparison shopping,
Yes.
and I take screenshots of all the pricing pages. So it's one of the things I first look at is I go, well, wait a minute. All they're doing is just doing it for the first year, and it's actually much more expensive for the following years, and it's actually cheaper to buy it at this site that has a very standard set of prices. So,
like we just worked on our own Black Friday campaign, and we implemented countdowns both in our it'll be in our top bar and in our emails. But those are legit. When the countdown ends, the sale is over. Like this
Right.
is not some sort of like
yeah.
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 Also, like another thing that's good for online sales, I don't implement it, but I know like a lot of other sites do, are the little widgets you'll see pop up in the bottom left of a site of like so and so just bought a copy of this piece of software like 5 minutes ago. A lot of those sites, a lot of those are legit. Sometimes they may futz a little bit with the sales, like maybe they'll say like, hey, this one that actually happened like 2 hours ago happened recently, 5 minutes. But usually those are often legit.
Yeah. I find those kind of annoying, especially on a phone. I find those annoying. I find if you're going to have a mobile version of your site, I find anything that takes over the entire screen that makes it really hard to click that thing away, the modal or otherwise. If you don't make it so it's very easy to get rid of that, I'm not going to buy from you.
But also understand your customer base.
Yeah.
Because like, for instance, for our site, we don't get a lot of mobile traffic. Our website is serviceable on mobile, but it's not like perfect. And you don't have to waste resources there.
I would take the time. Especially if you're using modals and pop-ups. Make sure that if you're doing a modal and a pop-up on a mobile, set the cutaway X or whatever it is to be much larger so that it's very easy to hit, because I'm sorry, I'm an old person, and trying to hit that little tiny X that's like way over there is like really hard.
And I'm a curmudgeon that's set in his ways, and I hate coding modals. So use modals because they're a nightmare.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of modals either. I don't like anything that really takes over the whole screen. Some other options
like
for
I was going to say making good sales is just like making sure your content is like just well focused on like your target market, making sure like the use cases are there for whatever you're selling. You know, like making it easy to buy.
Knowing your audience and tailoring your SEO or your content and SEO to that audience. That's what I've always said. If you want to make sales, know who your audience is. That's your very first thing you have to know. And if you don't know that, that's the part you've got to start with.
Make sure to streamline your checkout flow. Like on the checkout pages, no distractions. Like on ours, like we remove the normal header. We remove all the normal stuff. All you see at the top is our company logo, and it's just here's your cart, put in your information. There's no real way to get back out.
Yeah, I totally agree with that one too. And if you can, do the whole checkout on one screen if possible. You know, if you have to, especially for mobile, I would do it all on one screen, or at least close to.
Implement a little bit of social proof on the checkout page, like, hey, here's a testimonial from a customer. Also doubling down, like, hey, here's a 30-day money back guarantee.
Yeah.
We also implement this, and I don't know how much it sways sales. It might somewhat. Getting like a good SSL certificate and like having that badge of like, hey, this is Norton verified. You guys your credit card information is secure. Don't worry about it.
Well, and doing things like using Stripe, using Square. You know, making sure that the one thing nice about Stripe and Square is they both support Apple Pay if you're on a Safari or an iPhone, and they support Google Pay if you're on everything else. So usually, and those are kind of good options. And WooCommerce
already implement an abandoned cart workflow. So that way customers, if they leave something in their cart, they get an email, maybe like a day or so after. If they haven't bought yet, give them like a 10% discount limited time.
Yeah. All good stuff. Do cross sales on your own stuff. Like know what products go well with what other products, and cross sell between your products.
And use pods to do it.
You can. You don't have to. You have lots of other options. I mean, WooCommerce has it. I mean, it's built into WooCommerce and built into Easy Digital. So crazy. WooCommerce has it.
Kind of, no, I was
Yeah,
gonna say
I'm
for
using one
EDD.
on WooCommerce, some related products.
Yeah, related
based on
products.
related
Yeah.
products.
No. It was the EDD part. I was kind of like,
Yeah, I couldn't remember if EDD does or not. It's one of those kind of things. But usually, yeah, pods. You
EDD gets very
extend.
tricky when you want to like offer product bundles because like you
Mm,
when you get into licensing, it's very. I'm not going to get into it. It's
yeah.
Back to the EDD though, this person asked not only selling but licensing the digital products. So what, you would just include that in a form? I agree to these licensing, and you would state what your licensing
Consent
parameters
form.
are.
A consent form, and you would have well published licensing terms and conditions. Your terms and conditions should include your licensing agreements for both the usage of music and images.
When do you throw that into the payment?
You have a consent
stream.
form within the purchase portion. That's the piece where you actually agree to those licensing conditions. But typically, if you're talking about things like the commercial use rules and stuff like that, I would honestly, if I was going to be doing image selling and music selling in that kind of a space where you're licensing this particular tune or strip of tune or these particular images to be reused on other sites, I would go and look at other sites that do that and see how they write their licensing agreements. And
because you could also with EDD like do product variations of like, hey, here's the price if you want to do like certain rights for like, say like you're selling fonts, desktop usage, web usage, etc.
Yeah. Or if you're doing image usage, like you can put this picture at this size, at this resolution, digitally up to this resolution size, and it's this price. If you want to use this size and use it as a background image or whatever, if you want to modify it, you have to pay a certain price. And all of that kind of stuff gets really iffy and confusing. And you're better off looking at sites that do those things to emulate their platform.
And honestly, how much of that is just the honor system?
Honestly,
Yeah,
no.
true.
Depending on your artist and stuff like that. Like, I mean,
like when I buy a web font and I
Yes.
go to put it on my site,
mhm.
I don't leave in the line that like is the import line that like is tracking like every time a font is loaded in.
True. Yeah. I mean, but I guess now it's a little different with like Adobe Creative and stuff like that too.
Assuming you get fonts through there.
True. Good point. All right. So next question. Thank you, Valerie. That actually spawned quite a bit of discussion there. Our next question is from Cheryl Harrison. She asks, Gravity Forms recording payments. That's not really a question, and that's a really nebulous question.
Yes.
We
know a lot about payments with Gravity Forms, but that is there's so many different directions. Like we honestly can't even like give general advice, I would say, off of that.
Yeah, I really need a more detailed question there. So I would recommend, Cheryl, if you're watching this or if you're on our chat, try to elaborate on that one a little bit. Now, for styling events calendar, changing the text size and color in the monthly view, I'm going to share our WordPress Tampa Bay website, since I'm doing that, and show how you target that stuff. Let's see. So present, share screen, Chrome tab. Here we go. All right. So here's our calendar view for WordPress Tampa Bay. You notice I've got we have a header, but it's like, I deliberately got rid of the sidebar on this page so that the calendar took over the whole thing. And you can kind of see how when you hover over, it pops up obviously like that. But if you can get close enough to it, you can hit the inspect here. Can you guys see the inspect menu that I'm popping up?
No.
No, I didn't. I was wondering about that. Arg. That's not helpful. So my little pop-up menu and everything is not showing, correct?
When you hovered over it before, something popped up.
Yeah, but you're not seeing my right-click menu is what I meant.
No.
So okay. So basically, if you want, are you seeing this nice little thing over to the right-hand side that shows elements?
That we see.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Tooltip or something? Okay.
Yeah, because that's basically it. Is you're looking at the tribe event when you're dealing with a event inside a event calendar, full screen calendar. It's an H3 class of tribe events, calendar, month, calendar, event, something, 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 something. Oh, listen to that cat going crazy. Do I need to mute you, Mr. Travis? I think he muted himself. Yeah, because his kitty cat was going crazy there. Oh, I don't even see that. Oh, because I'm on the wrong tab now. Hang on, let me go back there again. See, I'm not seeing it, what you're seeing. How rude is that? So are you seeing this to the right-hand side? Or are you just seeing the pop-up tooltip?
Just the pop-up.
Yeah,
I
this
can't
is
see
a
what it
problem.
says. Something
Yeah, this is
tribe
a
events,
problem with
H3.
Chrome and sharing is that you can't see the inspection screen, but you can see what it's tagged at least. So unfortunately, this is one of those where, let me see if I can share the window. Let me try that instead. Hang on a second. I'm just going to stop sharing and I'm going to try sharing the window instead and see if that shows it. And we'll just go that route instead. So give me a second. Present, share screen, window. How about you? Okay. Ooh, that's not helpful. Ah! Don't get lost in there, people. We're in the inception right now. We are finally in inception. We have gone to inception. Now are you seeing the event screen? Is that better? Are you seeing the
Yes.
calendar with the right-hand inspector over here to the right? Okay. So
There's no way I would be able to read that, but yes, I see it.
yeah, I'm trying to make it. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to drag it really tight. That's not going to work because I lose the color. Yeah, I don't see it until right about there, but this does let me see the styles. Unfortunately, styles in event calendar, they add a lot of them. But for this one, it's article, tribe events, calendar, month, calendar, style, event, tribe events, category, St. Petersburg, H3, because the color is actually coming from my category that I've assigned it to. And if you look down here at the bottom, can you see this little section right here? Can I maybe zoom in a little bit?
See that it exists.
I just lost it, unfortunately. Give me a second. How about now? Can you read that? This piece. Can you see
Can't
this?
read it, but I see that it exists.
Okay. What we're going to do is I'm going to highlight that piece of stuff. I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to share.
Can you remove the lower third, please?
The lower third? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, hang on. Yeah, lower third's gone. Let me go back to the event screen. Yeah, the problem is I can't get it visible enough. But if you are wanting to change on event calendar, if you're wanting to change this particular thing, if I go in here and change the padding, I can make it bigger. Whoops, not wrong way. It didn't recognize my pluses. 15x bigger. I can change the padding bottom. Actually, you know what? I'm going to just go ahead and add a padding on here. Get rid of those two guys and override it. That's not very helpful, but because it's a calendar, they kind of limit what you can do and what you can't do. I'd say 10 pixels. There we go. And I can increase the font size here. I can make it larger, possibly. Oops. Shit. Sorry. My bad. I cursed.
And what about the color red? You chose that way long ago, and you set up the.
I did that within category colors. There's a plugin for event calendar called Calendar Category Colors, and that's how I set all of that. Actually, I believe that's built in. You can. I'll show you that in the back end in a minute. So if I change the font size, I think I can go to 25px and make it bigger.
And a little side tip there, like say if you're in Web Inspector and you have a value like that, like 25 pixels, if you highlight it and then start pressing the up and down arrows on your keyboard, it's just going to go up and down.
Yeah, I tried that. There we go. So like I could go, yeah. So that's 13, whatever. And this is not going to look good though because the calendar columns are locked to a specific size. So that's really going to be very hard to get a good look. But I mean, that does look better if you get rid of the right-hand thing. And honestly, little stuff like word wrapping needs to be fixed properly so that the word wrapping actually wraps properly on words as opposed to letters. But let me go into our the back end on this and do not look at how out of date we are as far as updates. I don't think I've updated this one in a while. Don't. Let me switch back to Chrome sharing instead of the entire window. And 1 second, sorry, Siri, my radio, my HomePod started talking, and I needed to turn them off. For some reason, when I reset my HomePod or when we have a power outage or something of that nature, all of a sudden, all of my schedules go off. And they never work properly again. They're always the wrong for at least a couple of months. And then they'll fix themselves. And I have no idea why. And I'm not worrying enough about it to bother to fix it. Okay. So inside the event calendar, I have event add-ons called, that's not it, events, event categories. You can set them up here. And I think the colorization is configured. Is it there? No. Where are they configured at? Settings. I think I have a plugin that does it. Give me a second. Yeah. Category colors. This is where I set the colors for the categories. So, Elaine, you were asking that, where I set those colors at
So you
specifically.
can't change that on the fly. It's already set up, basically.
Yeah, I wouldn't bother with changing the colors in CSS style sheets. I would use this instead. But you
totally could. This is just like a quicker way to do it.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm trying to sit there and think, do they have font sizing? No, they don't have it there. But I believe, no, because that's only at the event level. It's not at the calendar level. They have styles, themer guides, and stuff like that for instructions on custom modifications. And that's honestly where you want to go, is to one of the themer guides. Customizing CSS right there. And that will walk you through because they have a WordPress customizer, overriding CSS file, style sheet references. And they tell you where all of your style sheet names are. Your calendar widget is there. The calendar itself styles are right there. They also walk through their CSS naming structure. So that's going to be where you would probably start most of your stuff.
And how did you get there again? You went into the...
I went into the help menu for for Tribe. So that's pretty much that one. Tribe is not really that hard to do the design for. I mean, I usually end up finding one of their themes that I like, and I actually tend to like their default theme. I think it works pretty well, but that's just me, and it depends. And I know they have like themes you can download for their calendar, so. As well. Let's see. Oh yeah, there's calendar, category colors, options, and event calendar. That's the one. I use that plugin for setting the colors. So yeah, text size and color. Set text color I would do with the category colors because it's more consistent and it's overall. But yeah, text size you can do that with on the fly within the CSS, the custom CSS. All right, so our last question we had was from Lisa, the best ways to stay updated. And our biggest question all of us asked was, what things you want to stay updated on? You want to keep your WordPress updated? Well, that's, you have to keep an eye on it. That's, or you use like a plugin. If you're doing a bunch of different WordPress sites, you want to use a service of some kind that either does it for you or notifies you when you're out of date. I have all of my websites on Local by Flywheel, and they send out a monthly email. If anything is a security violation, they'll let me know that my plugins are out of security violation, but they automatically update WordPress and some core logins. I do a lot of background updating, and I let some of the plugins automatically update themselves, but that only works for maintenance updates, not for major release updates. So you have to keep an eye on that. And again, if you're talking about that kind of stuff, plugin updating and WordPress updating, you want to make sure you have a staging site or a development site that you can do that against. If you're wanting to stay updated on the news in WordPress, good Lord, so many ways, like social, RSS, email lists.
Or I'd say the best option, don't. Just don't bother.
Because why?
Because ignorance
It's-
is bliss in the WordPress space.
Huh?
Honestly.
Because there's what? There's too many
Ignorance
lists?
is bliss.
Oh,
Ignorance
okay.
is bliss in the WordPress space sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I used to use Twitter to keep track of stuff, but it's like Twitter has become so much of a gigantic hellhole that it's really hard to keep up with things that I need to know. So I tend to try to I guess there's a let me see. There's a website that sends out one email a day called "What the fuck happened today," and it's actually WTF happened today or something of that nature. And it takes a snapshot of the news and gives you an update on specific things, and you can tailor it to things you would like to know more about, but at least gives you the highlights of what horrible stuff is going on out there so that you get like a quick gist. And there are websites that do that for WordPress, like
In all
Gutenberg Times.
honesty, if you're looking for that in the WordPress space, go to poststatus.com/newsletter. They do a weekly
Yeah,
roundup.
I get
It's
that
free.
newsletter.
You don't have to be
Yeah.
a member.
Daniel does a WordPress Minute, I think is called. What is his called? He has a.
But he's also a
email.
guest poster on that post status, I think.
He is. Yeah. He is a
He's a curator now.
Curator. That
Curator,
was the
yeah.
word.
Yeah.
There's also the WordPress Weekly.
Yeah, the WordPress Weekly is a good one. WP Tavern is excellent if you want to keep up with all the WordPress stuff because they give you, and Gutenberg Times is great for knowing what's coming in Gutenberg. What other ones?
WP Dev or whatever it's called. The
WP MU Dev.
Yeah,
MUDev?
Yeah, WP MU Dev.
they have a good one too.
I think we need to type all these up and throw them in the chat. I know that was a really way after the fact thing to say. So, okay, let's see. We know we had WP Tavern. Oops,
Post status.
didn't work. Hang on, WP Tavern. Maybe I got the wrong email address for that one. Oh, it's tavern.com. For some reason, I thought it was wptavern.org. It's .com. So we have WP Tavern. You said poststatus.com newsletter? Is
Yeah,
that right?
or just post status newsletter. Google it. And,
Poststatus.com/newsletter.
Okay. All right.
Okay, let me do that one real quick. No. Yeah, that feller.
Which the post status one is a real good one because it has like news digest, it has podcast excerpts, it has job listings for jobs in the WordPress space.
Said Emu Dev? Oh yeah, WP Mu Dev. Okay, is that it? That one?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Weird. Alrighty then. I've never actually signed up to theirs, I guess. Gutenberg Times. Let me look real quick. WordPress Weekly or WP Weekly?
Yeah, the WPweekly.com.
Okay.
There's also the WP Minute.
Okay. WP Weekly.
Master WP. I forgot about them.
I've been enjoying that one. Yeah.
The WP Weekly. Got it. Okay. I'm going to be a little bit behind on each one of these because as I go load a new one, I'm going to go post the next one. You said WP Minute?
Yeah, here, I'll post a couple in the private chat and you can copy and paste them.
That's okay. Just post. Can you? Oh, you can't go into the real chat window? Oh, okay. Gotcha. WP Weekly. Oops, I just did that one. Sorry, my bad. WP Minute. There we go. I think that's a pretty good place to start. But yeah, that's once you start adding too many, it's going to get overwhelming. And that's when you really want to have a really good email client that allows you to kind of like take those off. Like you want to select a time during the week to just read things and maybe give yourself an hour of coffee time and read your newsletters and treat it like that. That's a way to do it.
I use Feedly for an RSS.
That's a good one. Yeah.
And I just have them all, like, I have them saved in there so I can just kind of peruse. Each post update that they do will show in there in a list, so you can click on which articles you want to read.
I used to use Feedly. I haven't used it in a while.
If you
really-
are in the WordPress product space, Ellipsis has a monthly WordPress marketing newsletter where they talk about like how to like grow your conversions and stuff.
Give me that one link again, if you can.
I will. Yeah.
That's our last question, I think. I don't see any other ones out there. So, folks, if you're out there,
I have a question.
oh, you do? How wonderful!
I do.
That's good.
Okay, it has to do with WooCommerce
Okay.
issue I'm having. When I updated to 7.1
Mm-hmm.
or 7 really, this glitchy thing started happening. And I went to WooCommerce and posted the issue and even put the website on a staging and demoed. To me, I had demoed the problem. And they said, oh, put it in a shop. What is that? That default shop or whatever.
Oh, the shop thing. I know you when you're
theme.
talking about, yeah.
And see if it still happens then. And do this and see if it still happens. You know, it was like Wicked Witch of the West, you know. You jump through all these hoops and no, it's still, well, they just can't believe it's WooCommerce. But anyway, they are now saying the shop base page isn't the default one. Shop base number 88 / gallery. They want me to like, I forget what, but anyway, what are they even talking about?
More than likely, if you're talking about a WooCommerce site, your base page for your shop is
Yeah.
configured in the settings for WooCommerce.
Right.
And if you don't have that configured as the correct paste, like if you've got a custom name for it, like typically it's just shop is the name for it. But if you've got, they said like shop base 88 or something, that sounds like you've got a redirection issue or something. I'd have to see it, what you're talking about.
All
Or
right.
if you could share the error that they're telling you the problem is. I'd have to see it. But that's what it sounds like. It sounds like the base that you have configured for your shop, which is where your shop launches at on your website, is the
It
wrong.
says try switching the shop base to a completely empty page with no
Yes.
edits whatsoever.
Right. That means basically create a blank page in your website, you know, an empty page, and point your shop to that page.
Why? I mean, what is that?
It removes anything possible that could possibly be on that page that could be conflicting with their default WooCommerce configurations. There's three things when anytime you're dealing with like a plugin and you're trying to remove conflicts, there's plugins that can conflict, there's theme that can conflict, and then there's configuration settings for the shop itself. Like if you're putting a form on a web page and you have a whole bunch of other stuff on that same page, and you may have something else loading on that page that is loading a JavaScript or something that is conflicting with the actual form that's loading. So I'm giving you like a Gravity Forms example.
Yeah.
That can cause a problem. So you want to make sure that whatever you're trying to isolate the fault domain is what you're doing. Anytime you're trying to do this kind of troubleshooting or conflict checking, you're trying to isolate the fault domain. So you clean off and put it on a base theme or one of their default storefront themes. I think that's what they call it now, storefront.
Storefront.
Is that
I
right?
think you're
Yeah,
right.
storefront. So you want to do that. You want to make sure that your shop base is on a blank, completely brand new shop page. And you just create a page in the WordPress theme called New Shop and just point the base to that instead, just to test it and then switch it back later. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah. That's
I'm
all
in a
that-
testing environment, so it's fine.
Yeah, and you can use the site health checklist to turn off pretty much everything without impacting the site except for that. If you change the base, that's going to change your site. So you definitely want to do that in a staging site.
Yeah.
So that's one of the nice things about the health check you can use it for conflict troubleshooting. But that's usually what whenever they say put it on the base storefront theme, that's the same thing as us saying put it on a 2010 or 2012 theme, one of the 20 themes from WordPress, because that gets everything out of the picture, but something that's definitely supported by WordPress. So like if you had it on Generate Press and they said, I don't know, it's probably Generate Press, you have to get that out. You got to get it out of the picture. It says, oh, it could be one of those other plugins you're running, so you have to.
Well, I mean,
turn off
it's
all the
stripped out
plugins.
of all the plugins are stripped out already.
Okay,
And
yeah.
it was still happening. So
Yeah, but it's still happening. You're on a storefront.
but I'll
theme.
try this whole storefront thing.
Yeah, just create it. Definitely do the storefront theme. Check that. And
I
see
mean
if
the
that
blank.
fixes it.
The blank.
Yeah, and
shop.
then create a blank page, a brand new blank page, and say this is like test shop or something, and then point the base to that page, and then that changes all of your configurations.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of like the event calendar. The event calendar has /calendar as its base.
Right.
WooCommerce as its base will always use shop, and they'll usually create a shop page for you if you haven't already picked one.
And then what will the URL say?
It would be /shop or new shop in your case if you're switching it to a different page. So
That's annoying.
that's why you don't want to do it on live. You can't do it on live because you are changing.
And then you're
URLs.
stuck with that URL with the word shop on every page.
You just have to change the name or delete the old page and change it back to shop once you've got it. Once you clear up the issue, once you know that the new page works fine,
Yeah.
then just kill the old page, change the URL to shop, and you're done. You don't have to worry about it. So, or change the slug to shop.
Okay.
Yeah. So not too complicated. And if you worst case scenario, you're going to probably have to do a redirection. And I wouldn't go that far. You're on staging, test it all on staging first. If it completely replicates in staging, the problem is something there. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's the one good thing about staging is it gives you a place to play and slowly isolate your fault domain. And what I mean by fault domain is that if you think along the lines of like, I've got all these things on a website, there's the web host, there's the software on the web host, there's the WordPress versions, there's the plugins, there's a theme, each page has its own content, etc. All of those things are pieces that could possibly be contributing to the fault, the error that's happening. So you have to slowly isolate your fault domain and take all of those things away until all that remains is what actually causes the problem.
Well, I've already gotten there, but the problem is still stubbornly there.
Well, if it's still there, but you haven't done the
not the
base.
shop, not the empty shop page thing.
Yeah, you've got to do the empty shop page. I've ran into that before with a shop.
But why is it working fine at WooCommerce 6.5 point whatever, but 7 kablooey
6.5, 7 gigantic version update.
or whatever it was 6.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah, could be a block editor thing. Who knows? Yeah, that's the thing. You don't know until you try it.
But also, they could have issued a 6.5.2 that you didn't update to, where the bug actually was, but you only saw version 7.
What are you saying? That it would have resolved if I had done it incrementally?
No. I'm saying like that same issue could have been introduced in a minor, not necessarily.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the worst thing about bug chasing, Elaine, is that you've got to, again, it comes down to isolating the fault domain. You have to do that in order to prove to the software company that the problem is definitely with their code. But if it were with their code, then everybody would be seeing it. And that's always what they're going to say. Is that, well, if that's the very first answer they say is that if it wasn't our code, then everybody would be seeing it. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, it's a process. It's one of those kind of things. You might have an edge case. You might be classic editor, block editor, or somewhere in between the two is causing it. Who knows? Yeah.
True.
It could be.
True. I didn't think about those things.
Yeah. All of those things can definitely do it. So we are at 50 minutes. We're actually doing pretty good.
That's part of why we've actually expanded from having a singular staging site. We do 2 staging sites now. We have a lot of our like EDD, the functionality we build on top of EDD is in its own plugin. Our Fillable PDFs product, that API is in its own plugin. Our parent stuff is in our theme. Because we do like updates on a different cadence, we now have 2 staging sites. One's for the API stuff for changes we're making to like the EDD stuff and everything, and then the others for content. So we can do like appearance changes and stuff and have those be on different timelines and not like overlapping each other. It's working.
So you can isolate any problems that way.
Not even just isolating any problems, but like testing changes independently of each other and not having to constantly worry about like merging different feature branches into the staging branch. If we can like have separate staging branches for the different staging sites.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I get it. Sorry, I had to turn the air on. It was getting a little stuffy in here. I had the windows open all day, but it's not warm enough. It actually might be cool enough outside. I don't know. I have to look.
It's getting there.
It's getting there. It's been nice the last couple of days. So, but anyway, yeah. So that's I see no other questions. Do you have any other questions, Elaine? How about you, Jen? How about you, Travis? No questions. Okay. All right. Oh crap!
All my questions don't fit here. Like, where can I find a good copywriter in the WordPress space? That is a question bigger than this AMA.
Yeah, and I completely forgot to update our little end stream videos. I need to do that before next month. I will do that. I promise I will set that as my list to do. I just haven't done it. So little things, little at a time. So make sure that you visit our website at wptampabay.org. We list all of our meetups, our calendars there. If you need to get in touch with our support channels, I have noticed that our Facebook and our Slack chat are starting to get activity. That's the best place to go if you want to get in touch with somebody local to either find out who's hiring something, if you've got a job that you want to hire someone to do, if you are a freelancer and want to get work, or if you need assistance and just need some help. It's a good place to drop little questions out there. Make sure that you like and subscribe to us on YouTube. That's those little buttons down there below. They help our algorithm. And make sure that you come back and see us again next month on the December 20th. There we go. I remembered. Yay. My brain is not dead yet. Thank you, Elaine, Travis, Jennifer, for coming tonight and for being such good people. And thank you for the 4 people out there watching the show. And also thank you for everyone who dropped questions in your RSVPs on the meetup. It's always helpful to have questions. That's how we get our stuff done. And we will see you next month.
Good to see you guys.
Yeah, definitely. Here comes the end cap. Thank you for watching a recorded session from WordPress St. Petersburg Meetup. We meet once a month on the first Tuesday of the month, live streaming online through our YouTube channel and Facebook group. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up on YouTube and be sure to subscribe and click the bell to be notified when new videos are added. Find out more about WordPress St. Petersburg at our website at wptampabay.org.